Thanks for that, Colin.
Yep.
Right, before I kick off, why do I do these Zoom sessions? I started before lockdown as obviously I couldn't do any talks, so Zoom talks then started coming in, and luckily our biggin was at home then, and he got me into it. My talks like now they cost 50 quid plus fuel, meaning if a club had a Zoom talk, then there's no fuel cost, so that I'm dipping in anyway. And it turned out my first Zoom talk was to a gardening club in Canada, meaning they bloody dipped in other side of the world, and they got me for 50 quid. Jammy buggers. Obviously, I put my black country accent on a bit just to confuse them even more. But my talks are starting back up again, full flow. So why do I still do these Zoom sessions? Basically, I'm passing on my knowledge, plus getting in speakers, as I am also still learning on all aspects of gardening. I do the Zooms on my own. I can't do the Zooms on my own. If I did, then they'd be every 2 weeks, obviously, because I can't get enough in. To keep them weekly, I need your input, even if it's just 4 photos. If you ain't got very big garden or you don't do too much, just send us some. They fill a gap. Plus, I enjoy doing them and putting them together. And when that finishes, then I shall finish doing the Zooms. But as long as we got a good turnout, it's 28 so far. Usually by the end of the night, there's about 40 on. So that tells me I'm doing so much well. Right, if I can ask you all to mute yourselves. Let's put that full screen. Can you all see that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good, excellent, thank you. Good evening to you all. Thank you for tuning in. We've got quite a few to get to tonight. Right, last week, if you remember, there was something similar to this. Some little chap's eye up. And this one is even better. Look at that leap he's got to do there. Now, once he gets there, where's he going to bloody go? You can only ever sniff round or something, and then you got to come back again. Gordon Bennett, nature. Weird and wonderful. Right, Nick was on about his quail. When it was on my post on YouTube, somebody put this on for him. He said, for information on quail, look on Living Tradition Homestead. And this chap, obviously, he does a quail, and he's learned everything on that one. So, Nick, that was for you from last week. And this one, I think it was Colin mentioned these collapsible raised beds.
Yeah.
There's quite a few people use them on, well, most allotments. You can either, I know some people can get them free because they have to get rid of them. They want them out of the way, and they don't want to obviously put them in the scrap. So they advertise them free just to get picked up, but some people flog them. But they are nice and solid, and they but that was a photo somebody else sent me to show Colin that one as well.
Cheers, mate.
Right, if you remember our marquee, which we got last year for our show, fortunately we did get it, but we had trouble when it got to customs, i.e. we bought it from Denmark, paid for and all this crap. And when it got to France, customs, the French stopped it coming over just to crap on the Brits because of Brexit. Somebody's talking in the background. If you can mute yourself.
Robert Guest.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Colin, because of course he is here.
I'll see you right in the
Right, we had to find another marquee because these, if I hadn't got it for the show, I'd have been in the crap. But basically,
you know, we've known them for
we got one anyway.
Donkey's years.
But Jeffrey,
we lost touch.
Yeah, you do, don't you, sometimes?
Robert, can you mute yourself, please?
We need to can still
pick up where
you left off.
Robert Guest.
They've been to this house. They've been to this house in the past, many years ago.
On if they're not listening. Too busy talking.
As in student teacher.
Of course.
He's on the
No,
he's on the
worked as
phone.
a summer holiday job at Western
He's on-
Wallboards.
He's on the phone.
Can't you mute
Western
him, Mick?
Wallboards.
I've got nothing on my screen
Edward
except my
Street, I used
picture.
to deliver Formica.
When you do the Zoom yourself, you got nothing on the
And he,
background.
He
we,
had other jobs, didn't he, before he
yeah,
was a
and he
teacher?
worked.
Right, Jeffrey Stafford, you know, mate from Ostend, he sent me this during the week,
I met him.
meaning he sent for seeds from the UK to his place. Now, the person who sent the seeds, that was free, but when he had the packet to pick them up,
Yeah,
he had to pay €18 import tax,
yeah.
also €5 stamp duty.
Oh,
Of course he worked there.
So that's another rip-off. I
I'm
think that
surprised I
worked
moved
out
to
at
Kingdom.
19
He's
quid,
such a house-iron bloke.
English money.
We can't hear you, Mick.
Go on,
Oh,
yeah.
he is.
It's
You see the ski-
this chap's done this
I know.
before, and he never listens to the broadcast. Has anybody
You
got
can
him?
chuck him out, Mick.
Has
you can
anybody
chuck
got
him out.
Facebook friend? Is he on friends on Facebook or?
Oh, he's
anybody
muted
like
now.
that?
He's
There you
muted.
go. That's it. That's
He's
it.
muted now.
Right,
Sure they got Gester.
part 2. So, basically, I'm still crapping on us.
Mm.
They
Anyway,
always
he's a
will,
nice
Mick.
little chap with his mother, looking
Leave
after them. Good
Leave
lads.
it.
That's another corker. I thought I'll show the troops that one and all. Look at the colours on that, patterns. Beautiful. Colin sent me this during the week. Did you get them, Colin?
I did, yes, yes.
Good man.
Free. You can't be rude not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There's only a couple of more down the road as well, so
Oh, perfect.
Did the Amazon man deliver for you?
Has that got a face on it? The middle one.
Looks like a face, doesn't it?
Oh, doesn't
no.
it?
Oh, I see what you mean. Two eyes
got
and a big
Two eyes
nose.
and a nose. Yeah.
Lion.
No.
Uh,
That just riven, you know, the riven surface.
It could be an impression of the bloke it fell onto.
That's it all.
Yeah.
They're nice and clean. They'll be. I shall incorporate them into raised beds. I think I'm following Nigel on this, so I'm waiting to see how he does with this.
Good man. Good man. Right, B&Q last week. Obviously, Wilco was starting getting all their gunfire, but B&Q beat them down our zone. Not a perv of these. And there's one of me blackjacks, me originals from bloody hell. Gotta be 12 years ago. Right, tough ball. Emma started coming through. Obviously, this is over a week ago because we missed a week. But that's just to show you that they are coming through, but not ready for pricking out yet.
Wow.
And on the mornings, we're getting some good sunrises. As you still see, we're still getting the frost as well. We had another good frost again last night. This was a talk down up Brum, Shirley Gardening Club in Brum. First one they had again, and it's good turnout. I think there's only about 5 missing out of all of them. But they enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. Well, they've asked me back again, so they must have done. Right, little chaps just going round. In fact, I've took another one off this Anthurium or lace leaf. The old leaves just pull straight out. I pulled another one out this evening as well. But I'll keep him not too moist, but if he does dry out, well, he'll tell me. And I'll give him a feed. Which will come on to that one later on as well. Some good cakes about. Birthday cakes or whatever. I can remember mate Dave Goodwin. I think his lads did him one. His mother for his birthday. Of his allotment. Him on his plot. But this is a cork and all. Bloody detail gone into that. Perfect.
Carrots look good.
Better than mine.
Better than a normal cake, ain't it? Right. My onion pips, which I had after Dave Goodwin. The ones at the back are in my compost. You gotta remember I'm still doing the trial. And clover in the front. So mine at the back, they got a bigger item. Don't mean sod all. But the other chaps from Seed, them are on the right hand side. Don't forget, I've only got 50 degree. There's no lights or nothing like this, so I'm behind most people anyway who have the lights. This is me daily tuber I had from Scott. He sent me one up, so I'm going to bung him in a light side seed tray. 3/4 cover him. First one of these I've done for moons. Daily corn. And then give him a little sprinkling. Now, do I keep him in the warm greenhouse or the cold greenhouse? At the moment, he's in the warm greenhouse, kept at 50 min.
I'd say warm. I'd say warm and all, I think.
Yep, good.
Yeah, keep it warm and get loads of cuttings off that, Mick.
Yeah,
Good
give
man,
it
good
some,
man.
get some bottom meat on it if you can.
Yeah, we got bottom meat on. Right, HMS Tartar, if you remember my last ship. Tribal class frigate. The tribe being the Tartar tribe. Now, I've looked up on the Tartars. Well, I knew anyway. They come from Central Asia. And as far as Russia and all this. In fact, they ruled Central Asia in the 14th century. Now, on the news during the week was Tartar steel. They come from India. Now, are these a descendant of the Tartar tribe? Could well be. Because they want to build a bigger factory in, I think it's Coventry, them after. Obviously, the electric cars. Now, bed for sale comes with 2 pillowcases. I love anything like that. It's South Day. Right, tough ball. These are ready. Crook stage, what I call. Still taking nourishment out of the seed casing. So these are obviously coming into me plastic drinking cups. Clover compost mixed with vermiculite, all made in the bottom. And then I'm going to get right underneath to get as much root out as I can. These roots shouldn't be that too long anyway, because you're getting them out of the crook stage, which is there perfect. So there's another root just about to start off on that one. But if you do chop the root off, then you've got a chance of him going to having a checking growth and going to seed later on. And if you get the seed intact as well, that's a bonus. So obviously these are firmed in upright. 15 tray insert in a full side seed tray. Next thing I'm going to do is give him a weight on it, not cold water. It's greenhouse water, greenhouse temperature. But if it still is a bit on the cold side, then I'll boil the kettle and just warm it up slightly. Right. This was last Sunday. This is why there was no Zoom sesh. That's me ready, packed with my grip, ready for a Tartar reunion down Reading. We've weren't so long ago we had the last one, because I'm all bloody dying off. Let's have another one before we do miss somebody else. But everyone we have now, we got another new one there. We got another new one we found 2 days after this one, so he'll be in the next one as well. And that's in Pompey later on. But good sesh. And I also found out this chap, he left home, well, similar to me. I left to get away from the old man. He left because he was hungry and he wanted to wear long trousers. When he was at the boys' school, he was had shorts all the way through the boys' school. And I can remember me and our kid being the last 2 to be wearing shorts in the boys' school. So I know how he felt by having the pee taken out of him through wearing shorts. But that's it, if your parents could afford it or whatever. But surprising how many joined the forces to get away from them. But everybody said they'd do it again, that if they had the time round again. Obviously we joined at the right time when we had ships, when we got a navy, because the all the islands was open to us. Now we ain't hardly got a navy, and no buggers going anywhere. Any road up. Premier Inn, because of the COVID crap, there was no restaurant open for tea. They did a breakfast, luckily, but they exactly the same as last time. They let us bring our own grub in, so we had an Indian brought in, and they looked after us. Right, this is 2 photos I've taken. I did some film when I joined the mob. I can remember the old man in our street. He's one of the first to have the phone put in. Not because we was posh, because when I was abroad, the only way he could ring home or get in touch with home was to go to a telephone exchange and ring home that way, just to keep the mother's mind at rest that I was all right. He also bought a Super 8 cine camera, and he took this film when he was down Ganges. Obviously, this was a parent open day. That was our first hound, Pepe, his mother, and our kid. And
Look at you, Mick.
hey,
Look at you. Look great. Smart there.
That
Very
girl.
smart.
boy,
Very smart.
15 years, 2 months.
15 years, 2 months.
He was in the mob during the Second World War. Loved me grandfather and my nan. And mother and father, obviously. But obviously, when he took this film, he then gave me the cine camera, meaning anywhere I went to take film of it, and that's what I've done. So if you're on the internet, which you should be, if you can remember 1966 Parents' Day, Mick Poltney, just bung that in, and you'll get the film. It's only for 11.5 minutes or something, but it's a good bit of film. Something different. Right, I mentioned this last week. This dog bug mystery that's going around. It's on the beaches, quite a few places. This is now in the Midlands. It has reached us. I think it was in the paper 2 days ago. We got it in the Midlands. They still don't know what's causing it, but your dogs are proper, as it says on the bottom. Knocks your dogs right off the feet.
We had it 5 years ago, Mick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do they know what it was, or?
Nope. In Clumber Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just took them out and killed them.
Always bloody summer. Right. So I had a banana for dinner, give the hound a bit. So my peel, instead of going straight in the compost, I'm going to use it first. This is chopped up. The smaller you can get the particles, the more size or more air space. That is left overnight, basically 12 hours. Then my little plants here, any evergreens or what's it, then I'll start rubbing or shining up the leaves. Obviously, if there's any dust on them, rub them off first with a damp tissue and then rub them down. And you get a nice sheen. If you ain't got the time, then don't bother. Overnight, then you've got your feed as well. So I'll feed them as well. This is with all the house plants. And my chili bonsai is still going strong, so I'm getting a feed and all. Right, that lot then can go in the compost heap, which you did do. That's another good one. Look at them two. God, dog's my Harris. I bet he's crapping himself. I would be. Pomona Fruits, getting a few catalogues delivered now. I've had some good stuff off these over the years. There's always something new coming out, so instead of you think you've got everything or you've got no room or whatever, I'll still read through, because I bought this one out. Pink blueberry bush, pink sapphire. Now, I ain't seen a pink one before, but the thing that I like about this one, this is a late cropper, meaning it is ideal for our show. So that was good enough for me. So I've jobbed him and all. A bee brick, now compulsory in Brighton Hove on new buildings after I raised issue at Council. Big victory. Councillor Robert Nemeth. Good man. Good idea. Helping nature out. America's first funeral home for composting human remains is open for business. That means another, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. Might be over here by then. So it's a toss up between that or give me a, let the hospital have me, cut me up. Right. Azuma last week asked for advice on growing a good collie. So I asked Dave Goodwin, who now grows to eat, but still does the same procedure as if growing for exhibition. As you can see, he's got some nice collies there. Where'd you get his seed from? Select Seeds. Obviously these are on the internet. If you do click on their page, this is the page that comes up. And the good thing about this, you can browse their catalogue while you're looking at it online. You don't have to send away from it. So anybody interested, but Dave Thornton runs Select Seeds, and he's give our gardening club Colligate. You know, I must have had about 5 talks off him now. We've got him again. I think it's March we've got him. Talking about compost and seeds. So, but he's got good. He don't dish out rubbish. He's got decent seeding. So there's Dave's collies again, and Cornell he likes using. Also there's Aviso, Boris, Skywalker, and Raleigh. Now it shows on the 25th of April, the 5th of May, and the 15th of May. This is so you don't get a glut of collies, obviously. And then, well, it lasts him. That's why he does it. A deep soil that's been manured before, obviously before winter. Lime ender jam, January. Keep between 6.5 and 7.5 if you can. 6 weeks before planting. Blood, fish and bone, 4 ounces per square yard. Plus, if you can get it, a bag of farmyard blended manure, and that's raked in. Firm the ground. First true leaf, 3.5 inches. Good root structure, 24 inches apart, 30 inches between the rows. Water and feed high nitrogen. The better the leaf, the better the curd. Tie leaves up later on, covering them, obviously the curd itself. Start feeding potash to get solid curds. Collars around the base of the collars as well. This is to keep the fly away. I used to use old carpet, but people have different methods of their collars, what they use. And plant up to the first leaf. But that's a little exhibit which Dave showed at our place a couple of years ago. But the collars were superb. So Scott, I hope you have learned some of there. Thank you for them, Dave and Foes.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Right, this was on I put this on one of my talks, on me Gladi talks now. I do Gladi for beginners. And I put this in, and somebody straight away, secretary of the club I was giving the talk to, she says brilliant, and asked me how this was made up, how it was done. So I had to get in touch with Nigel Coe, obviously. Basically, it's just 6 flowers. I do it with the fuchsia as well. I've seen them in a bowl of water where the fuchsia flowers just float on the top. But with the Gladys, there's obviously a hole in there, and these go straight through. So I asked Nigel how he did it. Yeah, there is that one. Yes, under the boards are plastic pots, the sort that camera films come in. These have water in, and the flowers sit through holes into the water. We've had them at our 3-day shows and they last fine. The idea is to get 6 matching in size and shape, either all the same colour or colours that complement or contrast each other. Because the woman at the club asked me, because they open Friday night for people to exhibit and Saturday morning, will they last overnight? Well, there's your answer. 3-day shows and they do last. And the next one there. Forgot to say that the holes are just large enough for the pots to fit through. The pots have a lip on them that stops them going all the way through, but tight enough to keep them in place. Doing it this way means they can be moved without spilling. Excellent, thank you for that, Nigel. Right, another delivery during the week. Because I saw these, Cream Perfection, Gladys, and I saw this little chap, Gloriosa. That's a big word, you can say that one yourself. Right, there's the little chap. Always read the small print. When I saw him, that went straight to my brain. I thought, I like him. So I sent for them. And then them long bloody bulbs again. But I didn't read the small print. Basically, it's a climber. But that's going to work out well with me anyway. And there's the little chaps. I've had these with Austrameria. My mate had them, I think it was 2 years ago, and she hadn't got a greenhouse. She was expecting the plugs exactly the same again. Read the small print. And they give me these, and I had a crap turnout. So I'm hoping to get a better turnout with them later on. But looking into it on the web, that's a good thing about the web now. Calling for Gloriosa. Basically, it's mid-April. I'm going to start mine off in March anyway. March, April. There's quite a few things that contradict, well, people that grow them. They've got to be in different areas, obviously. But obviously got to be frost free. It just tells you how to bung them out. So that'll be kept for later on. Right, I had these Gladys, well, all of them from the parks. Crapped on me with their grapevine. But looking at these again, plant passport, meaning they're coming straight from Holland. Trying to get them out, have a perv. I always squeeze them, see if there's any duffins. If there's any softens, then I'll put them straight in the bin. Right, these are spaced out. Cut the title off, what they are, and bung that underneath. And they go straight in the garage on top of all my other crates. Frost free, dark, airy. That's what I want. Another one I nicked off the net. Some Boston little shapes. And there's another one, carrot hands. That's one of the best ones I've seen, I think. Love him. So he's sat in the soup. Brilliant. Right, that's me for a month. 2 new subscribers, total views, 1.5 now. Mini swash, whatever. I bet you won't put that to shame. Nigel, muddy boots, good man. I'm pleased with that.
Nick, quick question.
Yes.
How big do them Gladys grow? Tall wise? The climbers?
3 foot stone.
The 3 foot.
The what?
I don't know.
The Gladys, how tall do they grow?
These.
The climbers.
The climber.
Yeah, the climber Gladys you've had.
It's a lily, that. It's a lily climbing lily, eh?
Is
Yeah.
it lily?
That weren't a Gladdy.
How big they grow then?
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
About 3 foot, 3.5 foot, yeah.
Shit, man, that's big.
But that'll do for me.
Yeah, nice.
Hot on my new raised bed. Another good one. A dog with amazing pattern, looks like a marble statue. Is that weird or what?
It's weird.
Somebody again. Well, you can't nick that, can you?
It looks like it's been carved out of ice,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
No, innit?
Snow dog.
Right, top of the garden, still putting my carpet down, finishing off. Mark out with a bit of Tipex where you got to cut him. Slice him down and then hammer some 10 pegs in there. When I got to that top end up there, just lifted this back a bit. And I noticed a little chap in there. So I picked him up and bung him on the garden. You can look after me slugs and snails, good man. Then I had a bit extra, so I put that at the back as well. So me and the hound can now go in the house, even after a rainy afternoon or whatever, and there's no dirt good in whatsoever. And the good thing about this stuff as well, it dries out quick. I'll now go out in the morning, my slippers open the greenhouse, and come back, and this dry as a bone. Right, back of the shed, that's the last bit I'm doing there. This is where I had to buy this extra bit. Them lot there, which we will come on to later on. So that is the lot done now, top of the garden. That's another job out of the road. Right, mate, Mark sent me this photo during the week, so I had a perm myself. And it was from U Garden. They have sent out catalogues, but I've sent for $1 for that, basically, to fill the top of my raised bed when that's finished. Obviously, I'm putting leaf mould, my old garden compost, homemade compost. There's a spent mushroom compost, worm cast, but mixed with this stuff, that'll do me. Another good one, half for orange. Ain't you great, eh? Right, me pips from my show onions off Dave. Remember them at the back? And my compost. So I've got one with my compost, one in clover compost. Both got 4 leaves on. So the trial basically, that's upending the clover. Nice white roots coming through. There's my roots. Better root structure so far, and there's roots the other side as well. So far I'm pleased with that. Charge, all I'm doing is giving them a little pick me up. I'm pulling a bit out of my hand and picking a pinch up. And I'm just, there's only about 20 pinches of a pound around each one. It's just a different manure, a different feed. Another little fungi. I'm on a few groups with the fungi now. Look, I'm learning all about that as well. And this was a fungi. I forget where this was. It might have been Germany. But there's some weird little chaps about here. Right, I've now got to escape that to get the wheel. There we go. Anybody feeling lucky?
Yeah, me.
Jeffrey.
Hey.
Oh, Jeffrey, he's got to pay 19 quid for the win summit.
Did it for somebody else.
Bloody hell, Jeffrey. They're supposed to be coming to our show later on. So,
Well done, Jeffrey, you jammy sod.
Thank you.
Jeffrey, I can have your present when you come to our show.
Yeah.
Good man.
If I'm allowed to bring it over, yeah.
Yes. No systems. Right, first peaks in the night, Neil Hands from Warsaw. You ready, Neil?
Run off.
Neil, am you on?
Ah,
Okay,
Okay,
there
mate.
you go.
okay, mate. This is where my joint cabbage isn't gonna go this year.
You're a bit quiet, Neil.
Oh, okay, mate. Can you hear me now, Mick?
Can you hear him, troops? No.
Yeah, I can hear him.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Right, mate.
Bit more.
My cabbages are gonna go this year. My red cabbage will go on the left.
You're still a bit quiet, Neil.
All right.
Turn your mic up.
Okay.
Oh, go on, mate.
Okay. On the left, where me red cabbage is gonna go. On the right is where me green cabbage is gonna go. I've done the soil with horse manure, and me mates give me some pigeon manure. I've incorporated in with the soil. I've done a bit of rotivating on it, and I will rotivate it again before I have to put them out, but it's all there. And at the bottom's my blue bin, my nickel feeding, and my comfrey. Okay, Mick. This is where I've just got me a new giant veg off the new giant veg tunnel. And in here, I've put it all with manure and I ain't put no pigeon manure in that, just normal manure, horse manure. In there's going to go my sweets, my giant beetroot, my kohlrabi, and yeah, the sweets, kohlrabi, beetroot. And there's probably one more, giant carrots as well. It's 22 feet by 10 feet, so there should be plenty of room. I netted it with the blue netting to keep all the bugs out. And at the side of there, I've got all my barrels there with me comfrey and my nettles in, so I'll be feeding with them. With the Swedes, I had a word with Ian Neil, because the last few years they've all rotted away. And he says the only way you'll stop that is I've got to put a load of lime down, and when the Swede starts growing, I've got to paste the lime on, and that means wet it all, wet the lime and paste it on to stop it from blowing. So I'm going to try that this year. It's off a good grower in Neil, so hopefully it works.
Yeah.
Next one, Mick.
Is that scaffolding netting on the end?
Yeah, the blue netting, yeah.
Yeah.
All blue netting. I have it off me mate for nothing. His scaffolders giving the pub. I'll get it for nothing, so.
Is that the door end as well? So you got the
I'll net the door end as well, Mick.
Yeah. Air movement, excellent.
And this is where me show onions will be going. Kelsey onions. I did try the Peter Oldham one, but they go right in my soil, so I'm going back to Kelsey. And at the top is where my carrots are going to go. My long carrots. I've just got 2 new blue bins, and my mate Chris has ordered me some more sand, which is coming tomorrow. £40 for a ton, you call Mona, so I'll get that in there. I'll do that on Wednesday when I go down there, and hopefully everything should be all right, and then I should start boring the holes out next week sometime. Okay, mate. This is my Blanche Lake tunnel. I'll do this like John Salisbury, but not so big as John Salisbury, but I'll do it like John Salisbury with the bars down the side, the canes from the top downwards to keep all your Blanche Lake straight and what have you. Down the bottom, just outside the tunnel, I've got me water butt, which I use seep hose on it, and I'll do that. I'll seep the holes there. I'll usually fill that up like 3 times a week. Once a week with me comfrey and nettle feed, and the others with just normal water. Okay, Mick. These are my pendles. These I grow at home in a tunnel, in a conservative sort of thing, which I'm getting rid of next year, and I'm just buying me a shed and growing just my pendles and my onions from home and all the rest down the allotment. I'm a bit in a 3 litre pot. I'm doing well, Mick. I'm really doing well.
Oh, good. On par with
Okay.
last year?
Pardon?
On par with last year?
Maybe forward me.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I think I'll come second at the. No, I don't have none last year at the Midland Pot Lakes. I'll come second with the Pot Lakes, but with the Blanche Lakes, I'd come anywhere. They all went to seed, which was my own fault. The bloody gas went out on a couple of times, and I bought me a changeover valve now, so it shouldn't go out.
Oh.
So hopefully everything should be all right. Okay, mate. There's some New Yorkshire Blue, what I'm growing at home, which I will be doing next year. These I'm doing well. These I had off, what was his name? Moorcroft. Jeff Moorcroft, I think his name was. And I had them off him. And I had them. And I was only in the open ground. I don't put them in inside or anything. And they growed 16 inches round. I feed them. I only watered once a week with just normal water. So hopefully that should go well this year.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. These are my Swedes I started off. I started them off on Wednesday when I sent you the photos, and I went down again today, and they've started coming through already. And all I've got is that propane gas in there. I've got no lights in them or nothing, but I grow them down the allotment, and they've shot up already.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. These my small pot tubers for my dahlias. And what I've been told with these, with the small ones, you just grow them. You don't take any cuttings off. You just grow them, and you should have a good dahlia coming up. And I've got some coming up already. And okay, Mick. And that's the other ends. And there's some of my pot tubers there, the big ones, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've grown a fair few of these this year. So hopefully I should have some for your show. Get Jason on them, if he's okay. Okay, mate. Here's some more of them. At the back end, that's the Alf Ramsey. And at the front is the Kiora Challenger. I've got a few big ones, and I've got some big ones coming off a friend off the Facebook page. So hopefully I should have a fair few big ones to have a choose from this year.
Now, will you just take cuttings from those?
Yeah,
and then throw that tuber away after you've taken
I will, mate. Yeah.
Oh, you throw the tuber away?
Yeah, they'll keep it, mate.
Ah.
You can start afresh from the big ones, the plant shift up there.
Oh. See, that's something else I've learned tonight.
It's best not to. You keep if you can keep up the new ones what you've had.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, if you feed when they're in the ground while you're feeding, a lot of people feed with oh God, Miracle Grow. Well, I'll just feed with my nettle feed, and it builds the tubers up. Bit of potash in there as well, and it builds the tubers up.
Oh.
You'll have the tubers again, near enough the same size as what they am there. Okay, mate. These are my cabbages. These ones are my green ones. I had these off Ian Neil when we was down Malvern. He gave me some new ones, so I thought I'd try it. So you're a Cornish giant one.
Yeah.
So hopefully they should be all right. Okay, mate.
Your cabbage is sown in January, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The start of January, I'll put them in. Some of them start in November, Mick. But I thought I'll have a go because they all bolted on me this year.
Yeah.
And I couldn't show them, so I thought I'd start a bit late. I had a good size on them, but they just bolted.
Oh.
But the weather was all funny this year, wasn't it? These are my red cabbage, my giant ones, my own seed off me red. They're more doing well. I potted them on now. I potted them on yesterday. I potted them into 1 litre pots. so hopefully they should be all right. I know for next year, what I've done this year, like the last year following, I planted out in 7 litre pots. I'll be doing that this year. The most I'm going to go up to is a 5 litre.
Yeah.
So I think 7 litre, I'm just potting them on too big. You
Oh,
need some roots going into the soil, really. So
yeah.
if you just go into a 5 litre pot, you should be all right.
That's it. Trial and error, Aid.
I'm trying all right. Even when you broke world record, you're still trying. Everybody's the same.
Yeah.
And it was the same. Peter
Oh.
Bright, the same. Everybody is. Okay, Mick. These the plants I had these off Chris, Mick. These the Cumbrian Sammy Cross. I grew them about 3 years ago down my other allotment. Well, about 4 years ago down my allotment. And I grew them to 16 inches round, and that was really good. The only trouble is I went to seed, because what I'd done, I growed them ones on the allotment, and I growed with by paraffin. Well, the paraffin, it tastes as good as brown wheat gas. You get all the fumes and everything.
Oh,
So I'm hoping for good things. He had plants. He's won with the show 2 years, I think, with these, and I think he got them to about 14 inches round, Chris. So, and he had to strip them all down because the bug got in there, the leaf miner bug.
yeah.
And he stripped them all down, and they went back down to 10. And in the end, they got back up to 14 inches. So it's a good plant. But like he says you can't go more than 16 inches with the Cumbrian Sammy Cross because it starts to do. Okay, Mick. These ice are good this year. They're Yorkshire Greens, well, they're off the same bloke. But not Chris, some other bloke off Chris knows. And the ice are good this year. But I'm going to try them. I'm a bit behind the rest, so hopefully they'll come for a later show, like Malvern or something, the National Veg or something. So hopefully they'll come for that. Okay, mate. These are the Yorkshire Giants. These are doing really well. Best ones I've ever had.
Good.
Just got a mate. It's supposed to stay short. So hopefully them doing really well. Them in 3 litre pots. So these are doing really well. Okay, mate.
What do you spray them with, Neil?
Killamite, mate.
Killamite.
It's a bit like Dynamite but cheaper.
Yeah.
And everybody when I go to the shows, they all say they're beautiful and clean. Well, it costs £50 for a little tub, but you're only losing a little pinch into a 1 litre spray bottle. So it probably lasts you about 2 years.
And how often would you spray for that?
Every fortnight, mate.
Every fortnight. Cheers.
And every fortnight for rust.
With bumper.
Well, they use bumper. I use Sigmund. I use Sigmund now.
Yeah.
Bumpers hard to get now, aren't
Yeah, it is.
So these ones and the Amelia, these come off Keith Foster. And I know these ones was off Keith Foster and there's the original one. Because somebody told me he was selling some rubbish. I don't know. He was selling some cheap version of it. But I had the proper one. You can see the Yorkshire Giant and the Cumbrian in it. Absolutely a brilliant plant. It's about already in January, end of January, it's about 3.5 inches round now. So I've got some of them.
Oh,
It's going to be a good plant. In my mix I do now, Mick, is Clover Professional Compost mixed with Charge and Wormcast. The Wormcast I had off you.
yeah.
So, it's a good mix. It's working well, so I ain't going to change it now.
That's it.
And the cabbage mix, all I do is I use clover, normal clover, the multi-purpose one.
Yeah.
I'll put nothing in it. And I don't feed most things now until I put them out, and then I'll just feed with me comfort and me nettles. What's in the ground should last a year for them. So
Yeah.
okay.
These are getting a good width on the flags already, aren't they?
They're massive, mate. Them and the Yorkshire Giants, I'm now.
Yeah.
They're really doing well.
Real.
That's what the joint that is, mate. So
Cheers for that, Neil.
me blanch flakes and pot flakes mix.
Sorry?
What I do on my beds, I did the Gordon Clark one now.
Oh,
What he's done, I've got, because I had the DVD, I still done it his way. I do it manure.
yeah.
You're muted, Neil. Oh. No.
Neil, you've gone quiet, mate.
Bowel meal. I take care for, and it goes up in stages like that. Always be bowel meal of what I take care for.
Neil, you've got to go through that again. You cut yourself off. What you do with your beds? We lost you.
You're muted again now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. At the bottom one, at the bottom of the
No, you're
You've gone again, mate.
muted again.
Neil, am you excited? He is, are you? Neil, part 2 next week.
Okay, Mick, I'll have to make sure somebody's trying to get in touch with me. At the bottom part of the thing, I'll put manure on.
Yeah. Speak up a bit, mate.
At the bottom part is manure,
Yeah.
then compost, and then on top of the compost, I'll put Vortex Care 4 and bowel meal, and I'll keep working up like that up until you get up to the top. And on the top layer, just put a line of horse manure, and then once you cover, you rotivate it all in, and it's a brilliant mix. So Gordon Clark done that, and that's when he come down the Midlands and won the show down the Midlands.
Oh,
So hopefully I should have some good plans this year. Hopefully, I'm looking good at the moment. So
yeah.
I think
Brilliant.
okay then, mate.
Just while we got hold of you, people who've had the radish seed, the every radish, is it May they sow that?
May, yeah. It's
Yeah.
got May and your friend, your I think it's Steve on here. He sent me some, and it's got June on there. But I'm gonna have a go at May.
Yeah.
Some people do it in June. Well, I had some seeds off Steve because he sent me some down. So hopefully they'll look all right. I think he had them off Peter Glasgow, the seeds. So
Anybody got any questions for Neil while we got hold on him? Right, Neil, thanks for that, mate.
okay then, mate. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Neil.
Star.
Ta-ra, ta-ra,
You know,
ta-ra.
Right, my stuff for me raised beds top of the garden. Thinking of lining my raised bed. It's hard to line it because I don't want plastic to be shown. So what I'm ending up doing, I'm going to paint it with this gump inside. We've used this stuff down the sheds, and it's good crap. And this is one of the up-to-date ones. Obviously, go back on that one. You need a sealer for it to go on as well, but then bloody got on. So I went in Screwfix, asked them what they got. And this is one of our newest and best. It is superb. I explained what I wanted it for. Basically, a primer for me timber before the top coat goes on. The liquid rubber, and I'm bunging this on. So that's what I'm doing, the green and the tunnel. I'm using the tunnel because these are nice and dry. When we get no rain, when we get the rain, it ain't gonna affect them. So I open him up, started walloping these. Now I'm doing the ends as well, which comes later on. Right, if I need a piddle or a cuppa, then I use a little freezer bag and just wrap the brush up in that, and that will keep that nice and supple. That's even overnight as well. And after 3 days, started to finish, and the last 3 days in one of them, then they'll go solid.
Make hand up.
What's that, mate?
Jeffrey, hand up.
Jeffrey,
Yeah, you used to be a sailor in the paint shop. Why don't you use liquid tar? Use it here.
Yeah, good idea.
he's a good lad anyway. Right, I had a couple of beams with splits on. So I got some Ron Seal, good name,
Please.
with filler. So I'll bung that in as well, natural. So these are my outers, don't forget. These will be on the outside of there. So I'll paint them as well. All I need is one side of wood, which will be showing on the outside. So I'm doing the top and bottom and the other side, basically. Then I had a crap edge, so it is going to go underneath, obviously. He ain't going on the top, plus it'll be on the inside. So that'll be covered. But they're all rashed down on the side, not too much. And then a bit of rubbing down. Just stop splinters and crap. But then the lot is covered in these. And I finished off the ones in the tunnel. I've also got one in the what used to be my shallot raised bed, top of the garden, and that's got a roof on as well. So if it does piddle down, that's kept straight as well. So there's my bed. Ready to have a look. So that's the situation it is now. I've taken all the soil, or you see I've worked away down there. I'm just taking the soil away from the timber, so this dries out nicely. Obviously, I've got to cover it up because the hound thinks that's a bloody playpen. No, it isn't. Keep the hound off. This is excellent stuff. Love it. You see, I've done the end there. Started going across. When it is drying in, obviously, once it is all put together, i.e. 3 layers, then I should rub this crap off the edges and fill that as well with my natural wood. And I have a green light paint to go on that, which is a wood preserver, the green one. So that's blacked all these out, and these are given 2 days to dry completely. And them inside the tunnel as well. Perfect. When this timber is dry, then obviously, because I'm going on top of there, I'm protecting that as well. And the inside. These ends are still drying out because we had the frost the night before and they're still a bit damp. So I'm going to work to the weather, obviously. Right, this lot has been done inside now. And you see I've started the white bits on the top as well. So that's all the white and all the black done. There's a little chap just walking back home to get cooked. Good lad. Right, I need some potting up me onion pips. I need some more of my own compost to do my trial. So obviously lift my old flap up, get my door off and get some compost out. First thing I'm going to do, this lot's going to go in a bag. Obviously take all the worms out first and throw them back in there. That's taking the carpet lid off. So that's from say 3 days ago. And that lot will be forked down to fill that hole again in the bin itself. But a good brew what I have got out. And that's what they're going in next. So that is in a empty soil bag, my homemade compost, and put it into the greenhouse to get that greenhouse temperature because it was cold, don't forget. Because most of the worms in my bin are now up the top of the bin because it's warmer. That's where the only action is. But you still get worms out, which I have done. This was another little chap. I had a woodpecker and its reserves for the winter. So if you see something like that with little chaps in, now you know whose it is. It's a woodpecker. Just storing his food. What a good idea. Nature. Love it. Right, my bags of leaf mould. As you can see, I've got 6 there. Because I had to get this lot out to lay me a bit of carpet down. And looking at these. Now, from me putting these down, they've got rips in them, and they've been moved. So basically, instead of using heavy duty, I used Gupta or cheap bin liners. That was a cock up. Obviously rushing, doing too many things at once. So I've got to replace them. So I'm getting them out there. You know, you see the holes. I don't know, it's bloody birds going on or whatever. But I'm just getting them out. Because if that starts drying there, it's taking a breakdown. I want to keep it moist. You see the holes in them, and I've got 4 of the 6 out there. And because I was rushed now, I looked at these, and the photo when I first did it was 2 months ago when I collected the leaf mould. So the leaf mould we're going to see is 2 months old. That's how much it is break down in 2 months. But because I was rushing this as well, I forgot to use my topsoil. One little pinch in between layers is full of goodies, and also I'm going to wet it with liquid osmoc. So my new bin liners, cut the top off, ruffle them up with my hands. I open them up, get my bin liner underneath. This is sat on top of it, and then I just open this up with my hands, throw a 5-inch layer in there, then put a fistful of topsoil, sprinkle that all over, and get me liquid osmoc, or even water, just piddling it, anything like that. Any nitrogen feed like comfrey, nettle brew, what Neil uses, anything like that, just give it a soaking. My drainage holes I'm not going to put in till I get round there, or till I'll put them on here when I have finished. So when I've done that, then the next layer will come in. And I'll do that till I've finished. Empty 2 of the old bags, because these bags are now stronger. I want to put 2 bags into these new stronger bags. So there's another bag opened up. They'll be ruffled out again. Don't forget, when you do ruffle them out, you're breaking them up even smaller, so you're helping the process down as well. Any big lumps that I do find, then I should take them out. And then when I have filled it, I take all the air out and knot it. That's just to get that compact. And then I put 4 holes in the side. And when I take them round there, I put 4 holes in the bottom. So that's one done. That's me starting on the next one.
I don't know how you work so neatly. If I'd done that job, it'd be out. Everything could be everywhere. Sorry.
Okay, mate. You do get worms in, but it's more bacteria and fungi that breaks down the leaf mould. So there's my first one in upper corner. That's another bag I've opened up, and you can see that the fungi has already started its work anyway. So with the extra topsoil you've put in there, that's your extra bacteria and fungi that's going to start working away. So these are now nice and solid. They're a complete bag. You're still going to get air in because you put I put 4 holes in the side and 4 in the bottom. So it's still got oxygen in there. It's still going to get in. And there's my other bags of wood chip and spent ops ready to fill my raised bed. So that's them lot filled up. That's another one I nicked off the. I think these were cucumbers. They look like budgery guys, don't they? Feeding or drinking, I should say. Second speaker tonight, Nigel Jukes from Warsaw.
Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton. Can you speak proper for us, please, Nigel?
Well, for Wolverhampton,
You all understand us if I do.
Cheers, Nigel, mate. All yours.
Right, this is just some photos I've done from the beginning of the year. This was the, I think this was Christmas Day, or maybe a day or two before it. This was when I was having a tat around on the allotment. I got some sprouts left. The carrot tanks you'll see a bit later on, I've completely emptied them now. Swede, they had a late run, crap to start with. They all went like long cylinders, but a few of them bulked up. That variety is called Tweed. There's a couple of celeriac there and some parsnips, which called Gladiator.
Brilliant.
Next. Sowings of the year. That was some tough ball, Robinson's, Mammoth Reds, some Kelsey seed that I'd given me, and some normal. I always sort my onions off in this tray. It's called a plug plant trainer, and it's from Agrilan, and it's 7 owls long by 7 wide. And the good thing about them, that it comes in, it has a little propagator lid on the top, which is UV stabilized, but the base, it's a base which the tray sits on, and there's like 49 dimples underneath. And depending which way you put the tray on it, if you press that insert down, the little pegs underneath come up and push the plugs up, and it makes them a lot easier. And you have very little root disturbance when you pot on. And also the lid which fits on the top, you can actually rotate it through 90 degrees, and it allows air vents through, pass right the way across. Which they're really good. They're about 15 quid, I think. But so it's all UV stabilized, and it'll last you years. It will. The compost I'm using there is my worm compost. I've sieved that twice, and I've had all I've had is vermiculite, but I put the vermiculite through a blender, so it's like powder.
Yeah.
And, I've got fantastic germination out of that worm compost. Really good.
Excellent.
First lot of the peppers of them basket of fire. I've done them in the 3-inch pot, and same compost again. That's when I start them off in the house. That's a 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot grow tent on its side, and that's a single Vitapod heated. And then up the top there, it's a little Spider Farmer LED grow light. With that whacked right up the top, it's very, very hard to keep the heat down. I tried to keep I put my onions in it, usually about 15 to 18, but with that on, the thermostat don't kick in on there, because it's with the light right up to the top, it's still hitting 22, 23 degrees. And so that's the lid. Go back one, Mick.
Yeah.
If you look on there's that plastic lid there on the left, which fits the tray where the onions are. If you look on the lid, them lids have got little dimples on. What you do when you fill them full of compost, if you turn the lid upside down and press it down, it actually puts little sowing depressions in. Personally, I don't use them very much. I just use the end of a Sharpie to give me, because it's a flatter owl, particularly if I'm doing multi-sowing, because that's a conical owl, and if you put in 2 seeds and they go straight in and touch each other at the bottom of the cone. So I tend to use a Sharpie pen, which gives a more flatter owl, I do. In the 2 big pots there, I've got some leeks, and I think there's some peppers in the other. Where I put my peppers in, I do put a little propagator lid over the top of them to give them a few more degrees, try and get them up to about 20, 22 or something. Next, that's where they've come up, the peppers and the chilies, California Wonder sweet peppers and the basket of fire chilies.
Okay, healthy enough.
This here is my garlic bed. I just popped a little hoop over the top, and originally I just got some mesh across the top, because the fox keeps going in there and digging it. So I've put that out across now, and the normal garlic, that's called Marco, that's shown its head, but the elephant garlic, I was getting a bit worried. I do plant my elephant garlic quite deep, usually about 4 inches deep. And I've seen today there's just 2 or 3 started to poke up, so I'm just making an appearance. So that's me garlic bed. And there's the garlic coming up again. That's that variety is called Marco. It's well worth trying. It's a really good variety. It is nice sized bulbs as well. This is my mate's shop on the allotment, mixed on the talk there. It's Andy Lane Allotments, not far from me. And that's just some of the compost. They have got a room next door full of it, but it's got F2S in there, clover, multi-purpose, grow organic, clover peat, and there's all sorts of stuff. It does. And I was amazed. I don't know if anybody else is buying F2S anywhere. The price range, the difference on it's unbelievable. I think he's selling that for £9.20. I think
That's cheap.
But some places, like 12 quid. Some of them like that.
Yeah. Levington have started putting crap in as well.
Yeah.
F2S. I've had a few.
I don't use it now. I just use my worm compost, and I've got some really good results. Worth a try if anybody wants to try it.
Grow Organic. That's a good seller at our place. Yeah. Good brew.
But at the beginning of the year, I decided I'm a sucker for buying seeds. I've just got tons and tons of seeds, and the amazing amount of stuff I've got is I threw out because it was out of date. I just keep it, and I've got anyway. I've seen these people using these, and what they are, them craft. It's comes like a briefcase, and there's 16 little boxes in there, and they're ideal for keeping your seeds and categorising them.
What I use, Nigel. I've done for the last 2 or 3 years.
It's the best thing I've ever bought, because if I were now, I can go straight to my seeds, know where they are. Before I was ferreting around, took quarter an hour, and half the time I couldn't find anything.
What are they, Nigel?
It's a little craft. It's a craft. They're actually built for crafting people. But the 16 cases in there with the flip lid, you just pull them out, and ideal for categorising your seeds and saying very, very quickly to find them. I'll send you a little Amazon link at them on Amazon now.
Please, yeah, that looks it's just what I want.
Yeah,
that is.
yeah, ideal.
Can you send that to me, please, as well, Nigel?
I'll put it on the chat when I finish my talk.
Oh, brilliant, thanks.
The best thing I ever bought, Nigel, to be fair.
It keeps them in order, and they're easy to carry around, and also just like a briefcase.
I'll put one up before next week and take a photo of it. Nigel, open.
Okay, will do.
People can see the.
Yeah. Next one then, Mick. This was my local garden centre. I have had a chat with Nigel Cow about this, and just to let him know there was in stock. Unfortunately, Nigel says these are like just general run of the mill for growing in your garden. They wouldn't do no good on the show bench. But there was one in particular that I was after, which was the Princess Margaret Rose. I really like that, and they actually came in stock. They was selling them loose, but these $7.99, and there's 18 corms in, and this is the Dobby's Garden Centre. And while I was in there, all the seeds are 50% price as well, and that's the varieties that got in stock.
What would why wouldn't they make show plants then if the
Is Nigel on tonight?
Yeah.
Nigel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what it is, Colin and Nigel. I don't know whether I explained it enough to you. The sort of top show varieties are the ones that sort of produce lots and lots of buds. Make a nice sort of shaped spike where there's no spaces between the individual florets on the stem and things like that. Of the ones that are listed on the bag there, they're all probably 30 years plus older varieties. That doesn't mean they're no good, but put them up against, the sort of, I mean, Mick will be aware of some of them, things like of Singular Beauty and stuff like that, and they wouldn't stand a chance. But like I said to you, Nigel,
yeah,
with the state that the market's in at the moment, with a lack of suppliers, it's them or nothing basically.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a concern, really. Unfortunately for you, Nigel, probably the best one out of there is the Princess Margaret Rose.
Yeah. So I spotted that last year and it sold out, and it was the flower which caught me, and I thought I really liked that.
For those that don't know, it's a bright sort of orange and yellow mixture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trader Horn's a decent one.
Yeah.
And Priscilla as well. But the rest, they're nice in the garden and they're bright and colourful. But I'm not saying they wouldn't do okay at, you know, at a sort of village show or something like that, but you know, when you sort of looking at them for sort of top exhibition ones for national shows and things like that, you've got to be looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Steve?
Thanks, Nigel.
Steve's got his hand up here.
No, it's me, Paul.
Oh, Paul.
I was asked a quick question, Nigel, before you're gone now. Bananarama, what did you think of that?
Again, it's another one that's it's a brilliant colour. It's a fantastic bright yellow.
Yeah, I saw it the other day.
It'll sort of really make itself sort of known if you put it on a show bench.
Yeah.
Stun the judges. But
Good.
you know, because it's not just that you're looking for. You're looking for shape, number of buds, floric texture, and all sorts like that. You know, that's where these varieties sort of fall down. But you know, they're the ones that produce well as sort of cut flowers, and that's what the garden centres are selling them as, cut flowers. They're not selling them as sort of top exhibition varieties.
Yeah.
But like I said, same or nothing. So
yeah.
Cheers, Nigel.
I did mention to Nigel as well, and Nigel has sent for some. If anybody's looking for some more, if you go on Pheasant Acre plants, they've got a decent range. I don't know whether is any of them show grade, Nigel?
yeah, he's got some show grade stuff on there. But like I don't want to tell tales out of school, but like I mentioned to you, I ordered 2 varieties last year. One came as what it was, and the other one, when it flowered, wasn't what it was. You know, whether I was unlucky or whether he was missold what he thought he got or not, I don't know. But if any of you are looking, I mean, Parker's wholesale bulbs, they do a pretty good range as well. But yeah, certainly on the Pheasant Acre ones, there's some nice ones on there that are probably a step up from what you saw in the garden centre, Nigel.
Yeah.
But there's still another step to go to get to the top exhibition ones, you know.
Yeah.
But the Dutch varieties that he's got, which are economical, shall we say? You know, you can afford to buy 50 in the hope that you'll get 10 decent ones out of them.
Right. Yeah.
You know, whereas if you go to America and places like that, you're not going to be buying 50 because by the time you've got postage and phytosanitary certificates and customs charges and things like that, you're looking at them costing you 3 or 4 quid a bulb.
Yeah.
Okay, Mick. Next one.
Austin. Cheers, Nigel.
Again, that's that's them just bagged up there.
If you see there, if you can see the difference between the Priscilla, the shape on that one, no gaps or anything in between the florets.
Yeah.
And the purple one next to it, which is a bit more higgledy-piggledy zigzag.
Yeah.
You know, that's the sort of differences you're looking for, really.
Yeah. Next one, Mick.
Well, I mean, they're still worth doing in the sense, was it's bloody timing them for the show, innit?
Yeah.
Now, last year we had very few in.
The only way you can time them for show is like, you know, buy a bag full, 18 corns in a bag and stick 6 in 1 week, 6 in the next, and 6 the next.
Yeah.
I did that. Still don't bloody work.
Out of interest, while I'm still here, when do you start yours off?
I shan't be planting anything on mine before the end of April.
Right. Okay.
That will then start giving me flowers early August, mid-August, and then I shall keep planting through till about first week in June, and that hopefully the first week in June ones will be what I shall hopefully get for what used to be the Harrogate show. It's now Newby Hall show, which is, you know, third, fourth week of September.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a variety called Matandas from that Pheasant Acre. That looks a very nice one.
How are you spelling that?
Matanzas.
Yeah, not one I'm aware of, Nick. The one I've ordered off the Pheasant Acre website. Can't remember what the name is now. This one I've not seen before. It's a white one with a sort of a bit of a yellow sort of lip marking on it.
Kitty?
Can't remember what the name is.
Okay.
So it must have been outstanding for me to have forgotten the name already, wasn't it? It just looked that little bit different, and it did look as though it had got a little bit of potential in there. So I'll try and remember what it is, and I'll put it on the chat.
Thank you.
Send us a photo for next week, Nigel.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Good man.
Right, I decided. One of the plot houses was having to clear out, and he'd got 2 big tanks, and I thought they'd be ideal. These are the tanks I normally grow my carrots in. Now these are loft water tanks, very, very good for the carrots. The only problem I got with these, they're not uniform size, and to net them against the carrot root fly, it's a pain. I want them to get a net over the top, and really you need to net them individually because you're leaving gaps, because they do get in the carrot fly. And so these tanks come up, so I decided I was going to move these, get rid of these out. And this was the last crop of the carrots I put in. There's very, very light going in. These were sweet candle, believe it or not. And I just sowed the last tank. I didn't even thin them out. I just left them, and I still got a decent crop of the carrots out the one tank. But so these was the tanks that I was going to empty. So the plan was I shifted all these off with a stacker truck with all the soil still in. Now these are on a wooden bund, a big pallet, and I shored them up even more with breeze blocks underneath. Then I put the new tanks onto the pallet. I put a layer of wood chip in the bottom, only about a couple of inches. I put about 3 or 4 inches of horse muck in the bottom, and then I got this soil here, and I run this through a hand sieve and fill the 2 new tanks, which you'll see in a minute, right the way up to the top. So I've got 2 big tanks now ready to grow my carrots in for next year. So and them are the 2 tanks I've got.
Yeah, excellent.
And so I think these 650 litres, I think, each.
Goodness me.
So that's the tanks which I've got to start. Well, I've done them. You'll see.
Yeah.
Next one. So there's me collecting my horseman. I put some wood chip in. I was getting the straw out of the what's it mine. There was a bit of horse muck in, and just as I was filling that up, the tractor turned up with another delivery. What he'd done, he'd come in his other tractor with a bucket on, and he stacked it right the way up into the corner of the fence to make room for the next load to drop off. And the heat, bear in mind, that was probably about 2 or 3 degrees outside. The heat, what was coming off that was unbelievable. Next one, Mick.
Is that wood chip down that end?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
And so you can see the hay there has started to, burn already.
Yeah.
And there he is with his truck shifting it.
Tractor.
That looks like the owner, You got a tractor as well.
Yeah, I think that's
you got a tractor.
That's I don't know, it's a 135 or a 35. That one, I'll get them mixed up. Messi Ferguson, but yeah, he stacked. If you look right between the arms of you can see how he stacked them new as high as the chain link fence. And it is good stuff. It is. I mean, there's no chemicals or nothing in there. It's his own field, and he like more or less guarantees it.
Good.
So there's my new tanks in situ. I've got the wood chip and the manure in so far. What I did, I've got some, that's what they call CLS timber. I put 2 rails along the bottom, screwed it from underneath the ledges. Then I've put this blue pipe across. And the idea of that, then I'll be able to put an Enviromesh over the top of one of these, then put a bungee cord underneath the lip, which will hold the whole lot in position, and it'll make it like a torrid fishing. So that's the manure. It's about 1/3 of the way full, and I just started then sieving the stuff out my old tanks with the rotary sieve. Go on to your next one, me. And there it is. These are excellent, these. I mean, it comes out really fine. Hard work. I know a couple of people who's got these. They've actually welded a little spike on the top of the handle, the vertical stem, and they put a battery drill on and spin it round like that. But you do get some
Is
really
that a
good.
Clark one?
It is, yes, yeah.
Yeah, my husband's just bought me one of them for my birthday last week.
Yeah.
Don't ask for much.
Suzanne, what you got to do is learn you how, show you how to use it, get a few ton of soil, and don't get the hang of it till it's nearly finished.
Yeah, I've put it all together. I've just got to go out there one day and go through me compost tape.
Because this took an absolute age. It took me all day to sift enough compost to do this, and it does hurt your shoulders. What I found, I stood on a few breeze blocks to raise the height, and I found that helped to change the height in working out.
I need more than a few.
But the next morning, my shoulders was really aching. But it's well worth it. It is.
Yeah. Oh, that's good then. You'll be pleased.
Gotta be done.
Got me something useful.
So the next one, Mick, and now you can see the difference between the horse muck and the sifted soil. It's say it comes out like powder. It's still got a lot of moisture in now, and that'll be ideal for the carrots. By the time the carrots get down to the manure, the risk of them forking, and they'll be about 15 inches long, hopefully.
Ideal for carrots, isn't it?
Next.
Ideal for carrots that grow in medium.
Yeah, yeah. And there's that's the one done there, and there's the other one ready to be started.
Nice job, mate.
From building site out there, Nigel, then.
And there's me too. There's me too. And there's a little gap underneath, if you can see, between the two tanks. Ideal place to store the hoops. And say in the winter, I'll be able to just put a piece of polycarbonate right up way across the top, put a few bricks on, and use it as storage. Because we can get the fox by us, and it does dig. You like digging an hour foot deep, it doesn't.
How much will that settle, Nigel?
I reckon that'll drop a good 4 to 6 inches, but I've still got another 1.5 tanks of compost that I'm going to sieve, put in bags, and just top it up as and when it drops.
And will you call that out, Nigel, when you sow, or just?
No, I'm going to sow direct into this.
At a 4-inch spacing, like.
Well, what I'll do, I've got some. It's strung mesh. It's about 2-inch square, and what I do, I just lie that flat on the top of the soil, and I just put the dibber in the holes, and it works. Puts the spacing automatic for me, like.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants any information regarding how to do this, it's on Nigel's Muddy Boots site. I'll advertise for you, Nigel.
Yeah,
I've been looking for them containers. I can't come across any.
Building sites.
Building sites to use them for mixing the compo in, Colin.
Unless I pay about 300 quid.
Or a plaster. You might get one off a plaster or something.
Yeah.
If you go to building sites, they mix gobbo in them.
Yeah.
And they wash them out. And if you go at night, they're cheaper than in day.
I didn't see. No, have you got any? I don't know if you. Did you put any drainage holes in?
I'm already in. The bloke who had them before me had put some holes in the bottom.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Go to his site and have a look.
I will.
And that's the reward. That netting on there, I've just chucked it on just to see what it was like and put a bungee around it. I'll be using the very ultra fine Enviromesh on this. It's finer than standard Enviromesh. I think it's about 0.4 by 0.6 millimeters. The net size is on it, and I get that from a company called Easy Nets.
Yeah,
and that's it, I think.
Yeah, brilliant.
Proper job there, mate. Well done.
Excellent, Nigel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Right, a couple of people have asked me about me talks again. Perthshire, Leicester, Droitwich, Brum, Warwick, Newtown, Wrexham, Coventry, Brum, Evesham, Wolverhampton, Lincoln, Chelmsford, Staffs, Burton-on-Trent, Plymouth, Staffs, Brum, Grimsby, Kidderminster.
Plymouth, that's a fair road trip for you, Mick.
Eh?
Plymouth, that's a fair road trip.
Oh, not on the hour with a couple down there.
Mick, where's the one at Penn?
I'll message you.
You have to do posh for that.
If anybody's interested in any, I can just email us or
The
message.
one at Sutton Coalfield is the Fuchsia Society, isn't it?
Yep.
Penn's there halfway down, first side, left hand side.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be on YouTube in a couple of days.
There's 2 allotments on there. I just wondered which one it was.
Black sapphire grapes. A black seedless grape, one with unusual characteristic. They are long.
Looks like something else.
Look more like a log in the shape.
I was thinking.
These type of grapes have been grown in the Middle East. Picture is from Syria. They look bloody weird, don't they?
Great for black pudding wine.
I'm just going to say that. They look like links of black pudding. Hang it up in the butchers.
Oh, God, no.
Cross-pollination aid.
Lovely.
Need some pile cream.
Right, these two, I had to go down our trading sheds for some grit earlier on. While I was down there, I said Clive, and these are 2 1-ton bags he's got, which I can make out there. There's a 1-ton bag, meaning you can get quite a bit of stuff on. Now this one is just wood chip, and it's left open. The bag's left open to the elements, meaning when it rains, it goes in, and when it dries out, it's only the top bit that dries out, obviously. But this has been in a year, and that's how the wood chip is now. Perfect.
How much of them, mate?
Free as a fart. It's only filled it up with wood chip and left it.
Oh, I thought he bought it with being in a one-ton bag.
But this next 1-ton bag, which is filled up, is just leaf mould, and that is after a year. Perfect, and exactly the same again. It just leaves it open to the elements, but it does take a year. It just shows you it can break down, and if you look after it even more, it'll be quicker. Right, these two which I'd have John down south. These are in the cold end of the greenhouse. When we have a frosty forecast, then obviously I'm going to get them in. Goji berry started throwing shoots. To me, sign of spring, Josterberry, little chaps on there. He's gone back in the greenhouse tonight because I've forecast another frost again. I don't want to leave them out. Right, J Parks. This is that grapevine of him. And there's the little spurt. He's just started to spurt. Might get grapes off in about 8 years' time. Right, another catalogue I saw this chap, New Alstroemeria, white pink blush. And these are the small, compact bush type. So I thought perfect for me raised bed. Extra bit of colour. So I've sent for them and all. This is Leesdale Park during the week, a new park for me and the hound. Legged it up there. Because I like to sniff, so it takes me bloody everywhere. And I saw this last day, I thought, let's go and have a closer inspection. I thought, that's bloody rabbit book. Recognise that. But I got in there with me, with a stick I'd found, a good solid stick. But it was freshly put in, it hadn't broken down, nothing. And basically, in the field itself, somebody collects all the rabbit muck and throws it on here, piles it up. Strange. Loves the waiter. And that was on the top of Lee, so I was looking down. There wasn't a chap fishing down there. But years ago, years and years ago, that used to be a boating lake. Proper Sunday afternoon for the locals. And there's a canal at the back of me here. There used to be a railway track, a little one where you could sit on.
Swimming there, Mick?
Bloody Nora. Nah, swans do.
It's deep.
Is it?
Yeah, I fished there years ago.
Right, my first coating of my tar. If you put it on by brush, it recommends 2 coats. So I'll put in 2 coats on. So that's what it's getting on now. So this timber now is away from the soil. If if you remember. Obviously the hound's got to help me out. Plus I got some grit from our trading sheds. So where I've dug away down there, I've put some of this grit down, and what I'm doing with my fingers, I'm pushing that right underneath, because obviously that is not square compact with the soil when they put this on. So I'm wedging this right underneath, meaning that's going to dry out and look after the base of it. That's where I've gone all the way around. That's where I'm pushing it under with my fingers. So from there this way, and then I should put some more down and push that under again until it is nice and solid. I've gone all the way under it. And that's one of the drinking cups the hound nicked off me, so I had to go and get another one. So that is that lot done and ready. Except I've got to put everything back again to stop the hound getting in there. In fact, I still got in there. So we now have a ginger, white and black dog. We've got bits of bloody tar all over Harris. Right, this was Saturday morning. Mark did the shed for us, Mark and Laura, and I had to stock the boot up. I went down to Graham's in Gloucester. Nick from Chard, he came up. He's from Somerset, and we met halfway. Luckily, Graham's about halfway for both of us. I was down there, but this was the night before, or day before, I should say. I was just loading up the car. Nick wanted some compost. Plus, he got his shredder. He's a good lad. I've got 2 bottles of army in the stocks for Graham. Cheers for that shredder, Andy. He was very pleased with it. So this is down Graham's. Luckily, Jill
Yes,
did.
thank you very much.
Jill did us a fat man's breakfast when we got there, which is always nice. Always goes down well.
No problem.
I did have a bacon sarnie before I left home.
You still managed to eat it, Mick.
Well, you've got to impress, ain't you? So there's Nick, and we basically Graham asked us if we need any seeds, and luckily he's given us some for the troops. If you remember last year, Graham gave us a loads of seeds, and I put them on, and quite a few of you have had them. So that's something else you can take photos of when you start them off this year. Just get us a couple of photos how you get on with them, because he served us well. And lemongrass, Nick bought us both one of them up, so I bought him one as well. And Nick gave me 2 of his spare heavy onions. He's a good lad. So looking at them, there's the cane he's got in it, so I'm going to replace them with them longer, straighter ones. That's a bit better. Hold them up, help them out. So I could say another week, and I've got to put them in the middle because that's taller. I've got more roof space there. So kept it 50. This is what Graham's after this year. World record Mara. He's got this seed from Vince. Whatever that says there. But wish him luck with that one. Where was the seed from, Graham?
Yeah, they're they're off the world record last year. He smashed the record by about 40 pounds. He lives in Wales.
Oh.
That was the one at Morven, wasn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
So,
incredible.
With a bit of luck.
Yeah,
Right, if I remember, that's the seed Graham gave us last year, and he's given us another dollop this year, which is that lot there. So that's it basically. When this is on my YouTube, you can see him better there. Just pause it when you get on it. And if anything interests you, just message me and you can have them. But first pick is Andy for sorting Nick out with his shredder. So anything you want on there, mate, Andy House, just give us a kick. And anybody else wants anything, let us know. Right, that's the state of the greenhouse. I did that yesterday or either last night or this morning. So my heated end is that end, and this is the cold end of the greenhouse. I've got to clear this out soon, get rid of all this crap. Because next week I've got to go up and see my mate halfway up. Dave is bringing me spare leeks and onions, so that'll fill that bloody lot out there. And eventually I've got to come out and open this up, so then eating a lot, which is no problem.
Just a quickie, Mick, was there any carrots in that list that Graham sent up?
No, I don't think there was.
Of course,
No, I don't think so.
Nigel,
Giant carrot at the top there.
Giant carrot, top left.
Oh, flaky.
Nigel, if I'm honest with you, the carrot seed just grow something like Nanty 2 or Autumn King or something like that. Start them off in February in tubes. You don't need the giant seed for that.
Okay, cheers.
So that's how my greenhouse is at the moment. Oh, while I've got hold of you, I think it was last week you said you might come down to our show, September. Was that right?
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
meaning, when you get me seaweed, if you give me that late, if you get
Yeah.
a summer, if you can dry the seaweed out,
Yeah.
it'll be lighter for you and easier to carry down, and then
Yeah.
for me to shred it. If you can do that for us, that'd be perfect.
If you chop it up dead fine as well, Steve, it makes it lighter.
Yeah, if you can bring down 20 bags, that makes it even better.
If I get to mix, drop one off mine, will you?
There's only two words answer that, isn't there? Go back one, Mick, that picture. What's that?
Now,
A crime watch.
If you sent me a decent photo,
he's a good looking bloke.
Your write-ups of your, what are you doing?
At least he's got his top on.
Is that supposed to be me?
Yes.
I thought
it's not me, that.
I had to nick it off Facebook.
I thought you was going to give us a tour.
And me.
You're sending me the photos next week.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. Right, this is from the porch looking up the back garden. So that's the state we're in the moment. So then 1, 2, 3, 4 raised beds there. I want another 4 of them down here. That'll be for my veg. So I've got my straws. That's the rose. I don't know where to bung it.
What are you going to put in those? What are you going to put in those long tubs, Nick?
Them. My Gladys.
Oh, okay.
They get the sun on the afternoon.
Yeah, got you.
It's like what's this way? So I can still walk up there because we don't need the bloody path anymore. Anyway, that's cleared off. But I'm still working on it. And that's it, people.
Yeah.
Very good, Mick. Thank you.
Well done,
Cheers,
Mick.
mate.
Enjoy.
Anybody recognise that there? That's all, folks.
Warner
Bunny.
Brothers. Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Fred Quimby.
That's all, folks.
Oh,
Looney Tunes, innit?
yeah. Fred Quimby, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, Fred Quimby.
Thanks for that link, Nigel. I've already just bought one.
Have you? Right.
Yeah.
Who